Ryan Baumgartner. I played Kevin in The Office, and you're listening to Nerd Radio.
Welcome back to Nerd Radio, all over your social media at Nerd Radio 101 and on the podcast page, WRIF.com, Friday mornings when we record, usually on a bi-weekly basis, but we changed up the schedule this week, so you get an extra Nerd Radio. And myself, Chuck Bean, sitting in with Al, Beck, and James, talking about everything going on in the world of nerds. I told you guys what I did this week. Did you guys have anything that you did nerd-wise?
No, I didn't. I mean, we're talking video games coming up in another segment. And that's the only thing really that I got involved in.
Yeah, I was going to say, you did send me a text over last week saying that you had a special friend code for an advance
to a game that we are bound by a non-disclosure agreement by playing that we can't really publicly describe.
Right, we can't tell you what the game was.
Yes, we can't tell you the game.
We can tell you that we have discussed the game on Nerd Radio in the last couple of months, and that we were both pretty excited for it.
Yeah, it was a blast playing it.
I have to say, after getting a chance to play it over the weekend, very excited for
I'm excited that you got to play it over the weekend. I didn't have time to play it over the weekend. You got to play another character that they unlocked.
Yep.
But it's a lot of fun, and if you're into, I would say, like Super Smash Brothers, it's I would say it's in the same vein as that. And coming from somebody who never got into Super Smash Brothers, I'm digging this game. I'm excited to play it again. I hope we get an invite for the beta, because this was just a testing phase, and but it's such a crazy testing phase. Like, you are actually playing the game, and it is watermarked, with like your name and a bunch of other identifying little marks on there, to where if you take a picture and you share it, they can track it to you. If you record any of the video, they can track it to you. So I felt so cool, like that. It's like I'm not supposed to be playing this game, but I'm able to play this game, and the fact that the game was a lot of fun, made it all the more better. Yeah, like I don't even know how I got on this list to get the invite, and then once I started playing this game, I was like, Chuck Bean is gonna love this, and I sent him a text. And I was like, hey. I described the game. Yep. He knew exactly what I was talking about. We got him set up, and it was. I'm happy to hear that you enjoyed
so much
the crap
fun.
out of playing it, just
so
much like
fun.
I did.
I can't wait for the official release, or like you're saying, the beta test, because it was a lot of fun. It really hammered home how important the voice acting that was missing from the Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl was. That Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl is pretty good, but man, if you'd have put the voices in there, it'd have been really great.
I can still think of some of the moves that I was hitting when I was knocking the opponents right off the map, and the lines that they would say.
Yep. That was a lot of fun. So I can't wait for it to come out. I can't wait for you guys to get a chance. Elle's like, I'm not playing this game of trying to figure out what this is.
I have no idea what you're talking about, so I'm just going to sit here and watch MASH.
Just watching some MASH. Any particular episode? What's your comfort episode over there?
I have a few favorite episodes, but that was just the intro theme for the sake of a joke. I wasn't expecting a follow-up question. But
is it the one where Hawkeye thinks that the person on the bus is strangling a baby, but it's just a chicken?
No, that's the final episode, Goodbye, Farewell, Amen.
Right.
No, one of my favorites, though, is the one where they go through a whole year in a single episode. Starts and ends with New Year's Eve.
Interesting. I don't remember that one. But then again, I haven't watched MASH as much as you have.
Yeah, my favorite one is when Hot Lips Houlihan gets topless and puts on a little show.
Well, that only happens once in the movie, and that Hot Lips is dead now.
Way to kill the mood, Al. We're talking about... Never mind.
Well, while we're talking about TV shows, let's talk about The Walking Dead. When did you guys each check out as far as, like, I'm not watching The Walking Dead anymore?
If as long as I can reveal with spoilers, essentially once they killed Carl...
That was it.
I was like, okay, I'm done. So Carl is gone. I think that was the last. I don't even think I stuck around to the end of the season. I think he ends up dying mid-season.
He was like, I think, it was either mid-season or it was the season beginning, because it's the last episode of Walking Dead I've ever seen.
Yeah, well, that was the
last one. I was like,
one,
all right, I know what's supposed to happen here. They said it's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Let's see how they do it.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, I'm out. I'm done. Like, I was already like on the fence with it. Like, my wife had stopped watching it, but I would still watch it. I'd watch it on DVR.
Right.
And she wasn't around. And then once, like, Carl was gone, I'm like, you just ruined the perfect setup for a crazy, diabolical villain, that started from the beginning, and you killed him off.
Was that before or after Andrew Lincoln left the show?
No, he was still there.
He was still there?
Yep.
Okay. Because I had forgotten they even killed off Carl until you mentioned that, and now it's ringing a bell that had happened. But so I can't remember if I saw that or not. honestly. I know that I don't like it because, I mean, I do understand that the comics and the TV show went way differently.
For sure.
But there was so much of the core of the story was Rick and Carl.
Yes.
And the continuation of the story, and even towards the end of the comic books. So to kill off Carl, to me, like, he was always the most safe character, which maybe is why do it, I guess,
right,
in a way. But
you won't be expecting
I don't know. So I guess maybe around there is also where I jumped off. I just cannot remember if it was before or after that.
I mean, it used to be appointment television for me every week.
Right, for a lot of people.
Sunday nights, right?
Every Sunday night you had to watch The Walking Dead.
I will say, I've said it on the podcast before, but I will say it again, that I even though reading the comic books was getting a little tedious to me at one point.
Yeah.
And then I found, after I stopped watching the show, I started enjoying the comic again.
Right.
And so I realized it was only the show that was bugging me.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's a little bit like with the wrestling, how there's wrestling every night now. It's just too much wrestling.
Yep.
Well,
so
you know how I feel
find
about that when you try to monopolize my time.
Yeah,
Right.
Jeez Louise.
If you find the wrestling you like, you just watch that. You just deal with that. Well, while we're talking about The Walking Dead, they have announced a spin-off project that is going to be on that's going to be
Another spin-off?
part video game, part interactive TV.
They've tried this before.
On Facebook, Facebook Gaming and Facebook Watch, called The Walking Dead: The Last Mile. They also announced that they are doing a spin-off on AMC next year called Isle of the Dead that's going to pair up Maggie and Negan, which is interesting because Negan is the one who killed Glenn.
Oh, yeah.
So that's going to be on AMC and AMC Plus. But the reason I bring up The Walking Dead is because there's a study that was done, a new report revealing who's still watching The Walking Dead as they get into their final season of
viewing dead.
The main thing. Where do you think the concentration of people who are still super into The Walking Dead, where do you think that might be?
People who can't afford premium cable and just have basic.
Yeah. Well, what they found is, at least in the United States here, it is mostly southern states, southern Midwest states.
Really?
You've got states like Kentucky, Nebraska, North Dakota, Idaho, Oklahoma, all are the ones tuning in the most heavily to The Walking Dead. And as far as cities go, Oklahoma City, Knoxville, Tennessee, and Corpus Christi, Texas are the top three.
Really?
That have the most people who are still hardcore into this zombie thing.
Those people that aren't like city folk. It's like the country.
Right.
The country peeps.
Interesting.
Yep. I mentioned wrestling a couple minutes ago. James, did you get to see AEW Revolution on Sunday?
Yeah, I wasted $50 on it. Only not because the wrestling wasn't great, but because I fell asleep after the Jade Cargill match. And missed everything. And our internet provider / cable provider doesn't allow you to go back and rewatch.
Doesn't give you like a rewind?
Yeah, because I asked my wife, I'm like, so how many days do we have to watch it? And she's like, it's gone after that night. And I'm like, so I just pooped $50 right in the hands of Tony Khan.
That sucks, brother.
But the matches that I did see, I thought were great. That ladder match I thought was excellent.
Yeah.
What else was there?
This was AEW?
Yes.
Yeah.
They got to do something to kind of, because of the fact that WWE, everything's just included in the network or with Peacock, I guess. They got to do something to make it a little more reasonable.
The rumor is HBO Max might take them.
Really?
And make it into like how Peacock has the WWE.
Wow.
So if you have HBO Max, you can maybe watch, I don't know about the pay-per-views, but you can watch all the shows and stuff in a library.
And what if they might tie in like Ring of Honor and stuff too?
Right. Well, that was one of the things I wanted to bring up, is that Tony Khan announced on AEW Dynamite last Wednesday he has bought Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor went out of business. Ring of Honor was where Danhausen was wrestling until recently. And Ring of Honor kind of closed up in December, saying they were coming back. Oh,
Danhausen. Now I'm on board.
That's where CM Punk got his start, Ring of Honor.
Right. It's where a lot of guys, Samoa Joe, Bryan Danielson, all got their...
I will say this. I'm surprised by how many of those names I do recognize.
Yeah. But so he's essentially got himself a second promotion, and if he wants to, he can play Raw and SmackDown.
He could
have two different rosters. And
I'm cosplaying as Vince McMahon. Here I am, Tony Khan. I'm going to pretend like, okay, Ring of Honor, you are my SmackDown, and you're my Raw, AEW Dynamite.
Right.
Yeah.
But AEW Revolution, much like the Batman, was extremely long and hard to get through. But everything was great.
Yeah,
like
the
every single
collar match was all
every single match.
Good. Well, that's good. That's hard to come by.
Yep.
That doesn't happen often. It's typically like maybe a couple of great matches and then a bunch of filler and then the great match at the end.
Even the
usually
matches,
a disappointing ending.
Even the matches that would have been filler ended up having, like, there was that 6-man tag that had Sting and Darby Allin and stuff. 62-year-old Sting jumped off a balcony onto somebody through 2 rows of tables.
Wow.
62 years old.
This is the night after he was in Detroit.
Yeah, signing stuff at Autorama.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah,
Insane.
crazy.
No, it was fantastic. And it feels like NXT circa 2014. Like where every NXT show would be like, that's the best thing I've ever seen.
Well, plus they have pretty much the main roster of NXT,
at this point.
at that time too. So that's probably part of the reason. But I mean, from what I saw of the pay-per-view, I thought it was great. Had I not been like an old man, well, technically,
sleepy.
My wife went to bed early. She's like, I'm gonna put this on upstairs. I'm like, cool. I'm gonna keep watching.
Yeah.
But again, the internet provider / the cable that we use. She turned it on upstairs, and then it got removed from my screen, and it says this content is being viewed on another device. So I'm just downstairs, like, smoking a doob, drinking a pop. I got donuts to eat. I'm like, well, I guess eat these donuts and go to bed, you know. And then once my head hits that pillow, I'm out. So
that's bogus, though, man. I gotta tell you, like the providers,
Yeah,
it's like honestly, as long as you're on the same network.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, I do understand that, not being able to watch it, like, you know, maybe Chuck's logged into your account, not being able to watch it there, or even if you bought it on your home network and then you try to pull it up on your phone somewhere else. Like, I understand that.
Yeah.
But you should be able to watch it on as many devices
same home,
as you want.
just 2 different devices is all I was looking for. 2 different Roku sticks.
Or the fact that, like, if you rent a movie on Amazon for like $3, you've got 3 days to watch it as many times as you want. You just I'll watch it tomorrow too. This was really good, so I'll tell my wife, let's watch this tomorrow.
I feel like you should at least, at the very minimum, you should have 24 hours from the end of the event to go back and rewatch it.
Yeah, even that would have been great because I could have got caught up after work on Monday, but and I couldn't find anything on there. When I asked my wife about it, she said she believes it's gone once it's done and over with.
Yeah, that sucks. That's unfortunate.
And usually, I feel like back in the day when you'd buy the pay-per-views, even then you'd get it. You'd
at least get a replay.
Yeah.
Like once the pay-per-view was over, they would replay it again at midnight or 11 o'clock immediately.
Well, if you complain, though, technically it's pay per view.
Fair.
You know, you've got to pay every time you view it.
Well, that's why I would always.
It's right there in the name.
That's why I'd always set the VCR up and record it, so I could watch it later whenever I want.
Well, that's the thing too. Is like, I mean, I guess in a way, good for companies because they've figured out how to go around stuff. But at the same time, it's like you don't have that option anymore. Like, come on, I already gave you $50.
Yeah.
You know, I can also understand even not giving it to just own it, but give me give me a day.
$50 for God's sakes.
Yep.
While we're talking about wrestling too, there is a new article over at Bonus Finder that to mark International Women's Day, they looked at how much online abuse professional female athletes face.
Oh man, I don't even want to know the statistics here.
The top 2 are Ronda Rousey and Becky Lynch.
Oh, wow.
So if you're harassing Serena Williams or Simone Biles, you're gonna have to work harder if you want them to hit numbers 1 and 2.
He's Chuck Bean for abusing women online.
I am not. Happy International Women's Month.
He's just reporting the stats. He's
just
not
reporting the
condoning
stats.
the behaviors.
Not at all.
My God, Charles.
So yeah, get out there and start tweeting mean things at Serena Williams and say Chuck sent you.
No, don't do that, please. Also, Disney.
Do you think Serena Williams is a bitch? Hi, I'm Chuck Bean. You may find me at RobLiefeldFeet.com occasionally.
Come and tell me how much you hate Serena Williams.
This is a terrible ad. I do not want this audience. What have you done? Our numbers are up, but not in a good way.
Oh, God.
Also, Disney Plus announced that later this year they're going to have a cheaper ad-supported tier.
Oh, really?
Where they'll have ads in the middle of stuff. It's anything like Peacock's ad-supported tier. No, thank you.
You get a lot
What do
of
you mean?
ads.
Okay, so I get Peacock through my cable service.
Yes.
And I paid to take the ads out immediately.
Yeah.
Because it's one thing if you want to watch The Office and there's ads where there would be ads.
Sure.
That's fine. But every single thing that the WWE puts in there, like every 5 minutes in an indiscriminate place.
Oh,
in the middle of a sentence, somebody will do a power bomb, and then I've got to watch 2 minutes of ads, and then it comes back. And like, what?
Okay. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, because I also get Peacock through my provider. So same thing. It's like the thing I do like about when they add that ad-free tier, it's usually like a difference of $4.
Yeah.
So usually it's like I can do it.
Yeah, I think I pay $5 a month, and I don't think I have ads as bad as what you guys are describing.
It's the same thing with Hulu. Like when I can afford to, I will take the ads out of Hulu.
Yeah.
Because 2 or 3 minutes, my God.
But Hulu gets you because the stuff, at least in my house, that we watch on Hulu is not a part of the Hulu ad-free service.
Boo!
There will be an ad before and after this content plays.
Right.
And I remember we signed up for Hulu, and I was on the fence with my wife. I'm like, do we pay the extra money and just get it commercial free or no? I'm like, I don't know how much stuff I'm actually going to watch. I'm like, whatever. We'll spend the extra couple bucks. We'll go commercial free.
Right.
The first thing she puts on, the first thing that plays on Hulu is, this program is not a part of the Hulu ad-free service. There will be an ad played before and after this content. I was like, are you kidding me? We just spent a day debating whether or not we should do the ad, and I still got to watch an ad.
I wonder, though, if there's we'll break down and discuss the ad policies, but that's not your live TV provider, is it?
Hulu, no.
Okay,
no.
Yeah, because I used to do live TV through Hulu, and there were stuff, and I would do the no ads, and there was stuff that I had to watch ads on, but that was part of the live TV stuff, so it was like watching Discovery on demand, not Hulu. So you got the ads because I was watching Discovery or whatever. And if I were to ditch the live TV, I no longer had those shows available to me because it wasn't actually part of Hulu. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but if that was, I couldn't explain it then. I don't know, because that's pretty shady. If you're gonna sell no ads,
an ad-free experience, but this content here is exempt.
And it's one
just
thing.
Say it's pretty much anything that's on the ABC network. It's not ad-free, which I believe is owned by Disney, which also owns Hulu. So if you're watching the stuff that like their major network is putting out, you're stuck watching at least one ad. You can skip the last one because it's usually at the end of the show, but you usually get hit with one before the show starts. And total first world problems. And I'm sorry, does anybody else smell like delicious like lasagna or pizza or something? Because
somebody microwaved lasagna or something down the hall, and it is like wafted in here.
Italian restaurant on steroids.
It is
I'm so
delicious. Al looks confused. Do you not smell it?
No, I smell it.
Oh, okay.
If I find out that's just a calzone from the
Chuck just went through oh my God, he's got COVID.
Yeah.
I did. I was like, uh-oh.
That's actually, we'll find out that's like the company's COVID, like internal COVID test.
Yeah.
Anybody who comes down asking for where's the garlic bread and the lasagna, okay, you're COVID clear. Anybody else who doesn't, you're on the watch list.
That would explain the period of time where we just randomly have bacon smells through the hallways.
Yes, that's how they do it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it smells like it's getting stronger, like they're pumping it in here.
Yeah, it's the Mitch Hedberg.
Yeah.
The Mitch Hedberg AIDS test?
I wasn't.
Yes.
I'm not familiar.
Mitch Hedberg used to have a bit in his stand-up. He's like, I took an AIDS test. I called my friend and said, do you know anyone who has AIDS? And he said, no. So I said, cool.
Yeah, no, I wasn't confused. I was looking for a weapon.
A weapon?
Yeah.
To beat somebody, to fight somebody for.
And I'm wondering if I can shank a motherfucker with this USB.
It's going to turn into The Walking Dead in here over lasagna and garlic bread.
So you shank him hard enough with that USB, eventually you'll shank him. You'll break that skin.
All right.
Who's cooking that lasagna?
Lasagna. I'm a lasagna zombie, I guess.
The entire Nerd Radio cast just comes pouring out of this studio like zombies.
Hungry.
I've only ingested 13,000 calories today. I'm hungry.
The funny thing is, I'm the only running zombie of the three of us.
Well, you're the only one that's really in shape for running. Al and I we've caught a couple of lasagnas in our time.
Yeah. Well, now
as my old roommate used to say, I am in shape. Round is a shape.
Round is a shape. Well, now that we've talked about how much we hate ads, we're going to make you sit through one as we take a break.
It's nice that you think they're selling this podcast.
And come back with
I
more.
think there's freebies that they put in there.
Nerd Radio.
Spiff other clients with.
Joke's on you. The ad that's about to run is for Weight Watchers lasagna.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful.
That's why they're pumping it through here so that we'll mention it and keep thinking about it. I got that email, didn't you?
Yeah, exactly. Well,
hi, James from Nerd Radio on Weight Watchers lasagna. Do you want to smell the delicious aroma of a freshly baked, hot, greasy, cheesy, meat-filled lasagna? Well, I can't help you with that. But what you can do is go and get the Weight Watchers one, and it kind of smells like it, and it kind of tastes like a lasagna mush. But hey, count those points, save those calories, lose those pounds.
Chuck Bean here for abusing women.
And we'll be back.